Fox Business Alert. Now to the story of the day. Nvidia Wall Street started the session kind of with a chip on its shoulder, sending shares of the AI chip king as low as $176. But right now, the stock is creeping its way back, and a few minutes ago actually came within striking distance of turning positive. Right now, it's down about 0.75% to $180. This after the company posted a beat on both the top and bottom line, missed slightly on key data center revenue. That number came in at $41.1 billion, just short of the $41.3 billion estimate. But that is still a staggering year-over-year surge of 56%. Overall revenue in Q2 came in at a record $46.7 billion. That is also up 56% from a year ago. Q3 revenue guidance coming in at $54 billion. Keep in mind that outlook includes zero sales to China of Nvidia's H20 chips. Nvidia's founder and CEO Jensen Huang is kind of in the hot seat, balancing the needs of shareholders with the desire of the Trump administration to control chip exports to China and make money off Nvidia's sales. The leader of America's first $4 trillion company is ready to talk about it. Jensen, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Liz. Great to see you.
Good to see you, too. Listen, at $46.7 billion, you broke your sales record, and you expect to do it again, right, in the third quarter? Your sales guidance, $54 billion, is above Wall Street estimates. I need to know right off the bat, what customer demand are you seeing right now that gives you that confidence?
We are at the beginning of the AI revolution. In the last year, extraordinary progress was made in AI. AI can now reason, basically think, do research, use tools, solve problems. That's the reason why ChatGPT has become so good. Because, you ask it a question, and it goes off and thinks about it, does research, does things for you. It's incredible. And so we're seeing AI going into every industry. From, of course, the clouds, the enterprises, industrial with robotics and automation, and, of course, self-driving cars. Just everywhere we're seeing AI adoption really, really growing fast. Now, at the core of our business, we launched the second generation of the revolutionary Blackwell architecture. It's the first of its kind type of AI supercomputer. This is the second generation of Blackwell. We call Blackwell Ultra. The code name is GB300. Everybody calls it that. And we ramped $10 billion worth of GB300 in the first quarter. And next quarter we're going to ramp really, really hard. So we've got a lot of build out to go.
Yeah, it sounds like the fire is really hot. I mean, your second quarter earnings though did show, and everybody's talking about this, so we got to bring it up. Zero H20 chip sales to China, even though earlier this month President Trump reversed that ban on those sales in exchange for a 15% cut of your China revenues. And then the forecast for this quarter assumes again zero H20 chip sales to China. Are you guys just being conservative, or have you seen orders from China come to a halt?
We haven't seen orders yet, but we're hoping for orders. H20 is really a fantastic product still. The price performance, its cost efficiency, and its ability to generate AI tokens is really terrific. So I fully expect, and I hope for, POs for H20. America, being able to have the world build AI and build software on the American tech stack helps America win. And President Trump understands this. And I'm very grateful that he approved the licenses of NVIDIA H20s for Chinese customers that are not on the entities list. And so I'm hoping we're now free to be able to sell to them. When the orders come in, we have some H20s built for this coming quarter if the orders come in. And so whatever comes in as a bonus on top of our guidance. And our guidance, as you know, is already quite significant.
And when those chip orders do eventually come in, quite frankly, I'm surprised you say that you haven't gotten any orders yet. But when they do come in, what kind of numbers, what kind of revenue do you foresee for that?
The AI market in China is probably about $50 billion to us. Several quarters ago, we were running umpteen billion per quarter. And then when H20 was banned, it went to zero. And so my hope is that we'll be able to go back and address a significant part of that $50 billion. And it's growing, just like the United States is growing. And the rest of the world is growing in AI. So the China market is definitely growing really fast, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you've made it clear you're eager to sell not just the H20, but even the Blackwell, your most powerful chip, to China. Have you had that conversation yet with the Trump administration?
I've started to have the conversation with them. I think that the conversation will take a while, but President Trump understands that having the world build AI on American tech stack helps America win the AI race, and he wants American technology all over the world, so that the whole world is built on the American standard, like the U.S. dollar is, the global standard. And so I'm very optimistic about it. I don't know the time frame for it, and we'll continue the discussion with him.
Let's say he says okay, but demands the same as he's demanded for the H20, and that's a cut of those revenues. I mean, has this precedent been set and you'll be forced to say yes?
I don't know that it's forced to say yes, but ultimately, it's in the best interest of the world, of our country, for us to be able to sell in China, have China's AI companies and AI researchers build AI on top of the American tech stack, and so whatever it takes to get it approved for us to be able to sell in China is fine with us, and we just want to make sure that the American tech stack is the world's global tech stack.
I get the motivation, and it may be fine with you, but is it fine with shareholders? I mean, you've got shareholders. What if they start asking, say, for example, whether it's the White House or Nvidia who gets to decide how much of the profits you make stay with the company?
These things have a way of working itself out, like pricing, as with all things. Ultimately, the more we sell, the better it is for America, and President Trump understands that. And so I'm delighted that we have H20 licenses approved, recognizing at all times that China has more and more alternatives. Their local companies are very competitive. This is a country with extraordinary skills and extraordinary capabilities, and manufacturing, as you know, is their home court advantage. And so we do not ever underestimate them. And so the sooner we get back in there and compete for a share of that marketplace, the better.
Listen, overall, you've got the kind of problem other companies are going to have, and that is demand far outweighing supply. Are you still there? I mean, we're hearing that for every one Blackwell chip, there are 10 different orders for them. Is that about right? And where are you in the supply balancing out with demand scenario?
Well, we did $46 billion, as you mentioned earlier today. And over the course of the next 5 years in this decade, I estimate probably about $3 to $4 trillion of AI factory infrastructure will be built out. Out of a gigawatt data center, for example, the gigawatt data center is like $50 billion all in. Out of that, about 30 to 35 billion of it is computing and networking and all the type of computing gear that Nvidia provides. And so Nvidia's opportunity within that $3 to $4 trillion within this decade is quite significant. So we're in the beginning of this build out, and so we have many years of growth ahead of us.
And it looks like it. I get that, but OpenAI, Sam Altman, you've partnered with him in the past, and you're doing so, I believe, with Stargate. But he mused recently that there is a bubble, and that basically would suggest that spending on AI cannot continue at this torrid pace. Do you see a bubble? Are you with him on that?
I see a very different picture. In fact, OpenAI is doing incredibly well. They just had their first billion-dollar month. This is a company that was in generating revenues not so long ago, just about 18 months ago. And so it's extraordinary growth. In fact, if you take all of the AI natives companies, and there are so many of them that are doing well, Perplexity, Cursor, Abridged, so many. I mean, the list goes on. Of course, Google Gemini is doing incredibly well. Elon's Grok is doing incredibly well. And so there are so many different companies that are doing great in AI. This year, we estimate about $20 billion of AI native AI revenues. from $2 billion last year, a tenfold increase in 1 year. And don't forget, AI has only been generating revenues for about 2 years. So in only 2 years' time, it's now $20 billion. And that's just one. We see AI in enterprise as a result of open source models. We see AI in science with digital biology. We see AI in robotics and industrial manufacturing.
Yeah.
There's so many new factories are being built all around the world. So we're seeing AI everywhere.
Jensen, Nvidia just unveiled, this is sort of the futurist part of it, the Jetson Thor chip. This is the so-called robot brain that will enable people to train robots to develop them with so much more compute power. And eventually, we want to know how you see robots eventually, I guess, making decisions without human prompts. And where does this eventually take us? I'm asking you to put that futurist hat on.
Everything that moves will be robotic. Every car, every tractor, every excavator, of course, there's going to be robotic manipulators in factories, robotic movers for moving inventory around. There will be robotic humanoid robots that are very general purpose. We're going to see robotic systems of all different kinds. They're going to be in hospitals doing robotic surgery. They're going to be in factories building things. They're going to be in farms doing agriculture. It's just incredible, the number of robotic systems. Every single robotic company or industrial company will have two factories. There's the factory that builds the machines, and then there will be a factory that does the AI, that processes the AI factory, to create the brain that runs in the robot. And so NVIDIA covers the entire spectrum of computing for AI, everything from the cloud to enterprise on-prem to robotic systems. And so it's going to be a really exciting future. And we're going to have all kinds of machinery help us do things.
And that would mean that it's helping people have more free time. You talk about productivity gains. So that really becomes the big question. How do you envision our world changing? Do we start to see every country go to a 4-day work week because productivity gains from AI have been so meaningful? Do you see the chatbots become people's friends so dating apps go away? In your mind, what are those future prospects?
I have to admit that I'm afraid to say that we are going to be busier in the future than now. And the reason for that is because a lot of different things that take a long time to do are now faster to do. And I'm always waiting for work to get done because I've got more ideas. Most countries and most companies have more ideas than we know what to pursue. And so the more productive we are, the more opportunity we get to go pursue new ideas. I fully expect GDP to grow. I expect productivity to increase. I actually expect us to have more things to do. It is probably the case. And Liz, I'm hopeful for that day too, so that we have 4-day work weeks, and so that we could, spend more time on the weekends with family and get some reading done and do some traveling. And, nothing is better than that. We came from a world of 7-day work weeks, and now we're in 5-day work weeks. And every industrial revolution leads to some change in social behavior. But I expect the economy to be doing very well because of AI and automation, and I expect, us to enrich our lives. Life quality will get better, of course, over time. Some jobs will go away. Many jobs will be new and invented. But one thing for sure, every job will be changed as a result of AI.
Jensen, it's a fascinating time, and people should take note of NVIDIA's position in all of this, but also where we go in the future. Thank you so much for joining us.
Liz, it's great to see you. Thank you.